Hello, everybody. Hi, I'm live. So, just so everybody knows from the beginning, hello, welcome, by the way. I'm going live on YouTube and on Facebook. So, I'm doing my best. Please let me know if you can hear me. That would be great if you could. Let me know if you can see me. I'm going to share the YouTube link over on Facebook just because it should sound better and stuff like that. So please let me know that you can and hear me and all that good stuff like that. So there we go. There's me twice. So if I share this on the Facebook one, hi Facebook people. We can have a weird thing where the people on YouTube can say hi to the people on Facebook. The only thing is with my Facebook one is that I may not be able to, what's it called? Do the, you might not be able to hear my audio. So can I comment on this one? Let's have a look. Anyway, I'm doing both at the same time. So I'll try and keep an eye on comments over this one on Facebook and this one on YouTube. So you can hear me and see me apparently, which is great news to begin with. And my internet seems to be playing ball for once, which is amazing. So thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. I don't know, this is all a bit last minute, so I don't know how many people are going to join us, but we've got Loza over on Facebook, and we have Andy and Jen, excuse me, and Fiona and Hillary and Kathy and Sue and Claire and Jacqueline and did I say Hillary already? Fiona and Jen and Andy over on YouTube. Andy says, is this the point where we throw our underwear at the TV? Whatever floats your boat, my friend. If that's what you want to do, you absolutely go for it. But yeah, here we are. This is my album launch, my album release. I'm wondering is my Facebook one, let's just have a check. Is it on my Jesse Smith page, or have I done it on my personal one by accident? That's what I want to know, because there's only 2 people watching it. Let's have a look. Oh no, it is live. Brilliant. Okay, cool. So we're live. It's all working, everybody. If you're on Facebook, I'm going to leave it up anyway. But if you want to come and so basically we're streaming on both. It should sound better and hopefully look a bit better over on YouTube. But that's, I guess, that's up to everyone's personal opinion. So the album is out in the world, everybody. Thank you so much for all your support with it all. I'm just so excited about it being out in the world. What I thought we would do, I have no real plan. I'm kind of making this up as I go along, but I thought we'd just go through the album a bit, have a bit of a listen, have a bit of a chat, talk about what you guys think about it. I really want to hear from you guys, and go from there basically. So we're live on YouTube and Facebook, everybody. Jill says, hello Jesse, happy release day. Happy release day indeed. And Jacqueline says, congratulations on finally releasing it to the masses. Well, thank you guys. I appreciate you all so much. Firstly, can you hear this? Give me a thumbs up in the comments if you can hear it. I think on Facebook you might not be able to, but here we go. Can you hear this over on YouTube? I'm not afraid to be in the darkness. I've seen the rain, I've seen the sun. I've got a star that lights up the ocean and leads me home. And I'm not afraid to float in the night. So there we go. That's Speck of Dust, the first track of my album. I sound like a radio DJ. We've got a few people commenting on Facebook. We've got Craig and Lisa. What I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to comment and post the link to the YouTube, because
you can't hear the sound, so you're kind of missing out. So I'll post the link and hopefully join the rest of you on YouTube. And if you catch this later, you'll be able to join us, and then it's less complicated for me. This chord change there into the chorus, and then back into the key change. I'm not afraid. That's sort of, it's actually quite complicated musically, and it was kind of an accident. I didn't set out to do anything like that, but yeah, basically that's quite, for a song that's actually quite basic up until that point, that's kind of an interesting chord change. That's the first song I wrote for the album as well, and that's why I thought it would make a good one to go first on the record, basically. Bear with me, guys. I'm just going to post the link for the YouTube. Let's have a look. See if we can copy and paste it. This one. I'll tell you what, I'll just do it here. I'll turn my phone off and then I'll do it on the computer, and then it's all done. And then everybody that wants to join us can, you know? So yeah, let's just do this. YouTube link. Doink. Cool. So if anyone sees anyone commenting or anything on Facebook or whatever, just point them in this direction, guys. So yeah, Andy says it's a great album. Can I ask about the title? Meaning, yeah. So Songs from a Concrete Box. It basically came out of COVID, right? So I was living in my little flat in Northfields, which is just down the road from where I am now in Ealing, and basically, I wrote most of the songs during that second year of COVID, when we were just kind of all stuck inside. And I figured out afterwards, actually, that the term concrete box comes from a song that from my friend's band. Basically, my friends Rosie and Carmen did a record with Jeff Beck called Loud Hailer, and it's an amazing amazing album. And there's a line in one of their songs. It's I think it's something like I'm getting confused between my own songs now. It's called Scared for the Children, the song. Let's have a look. Scared for the Children. Song by Jeff Beck. Let's have a look at the lyrics. My friend Rosie, but where is it? Playing in a concrete box because mother's got her shows to watch. I'm scared for the children. And it obviously stuck with me, and kind of subconsciously that term went in there. And then when I was writing, there's a lyric in one of the songs which is it's in my song Brittle, which is, I've been locked in a concrete box, trying to plot my route to Mars. My voice box got some miles on the clock, but I ain't got very far. So yeah, that's basically where the title comes from. You know, it's songs born out of being stuck indoors for a while, you know. Craig says, you've done yourself proud. Bless you, mate. What's that there in your picture, Craig? Is that Cortex? Kathy says, I remember hearing it for the first time when it didn't even have a name. Speck of Dust you're talking about, right? Thank you. I really, really appreciate that. So yeah, and then funny, let me see if I've got I can play you guys this. So basically the second tune on the album, Wicked, it started off like this. Let me see if I can find it. Yes, it started out like this. Have a listen to this. Hopefully there's no ads. Just loading this up now. basic singer-songwriter type vibes.
I never wanna be anywhere other than lost in the woods. I'm Hansel and Gretel, cause I never tasted anything sweeter than you. I never wanna.
So yeah, it was kind of quite a sweet kind of like almost country type song, right? When I first wrote it, and when we got into the studio, we wanted to do something kind of interesting and a bit Eelsy with it. Eels are a wicked band from kind of the 2000s. They actually released an album today as well. But yeah, and Jen says, do you use open tuning a couple of songs because it sounds a bit like it wicked? I do use open tuning in quite a few songs, like different tunings, but we can talk about that, Jen, but not on Wicked, actually. Wicked is actually pretty standard tuning, but what we did was we took the guitars off the record. If you notice, there's no acoustic guitar at all on this song.
Never wanna be anywhere other than lost in the woods.
So during the verses, there's absolutely no guitar at all, right? And then it comes back in the electric guitar. So we got the electric guitar. My friend Andy Cortez, who's an amazing guitar player, came in and did some weird stuff that we just loved. You know, this is kind of what we wanted to do with it, make it a bit more edgy. Look in your eyes today. It says that you know you'll always turn me on and have your... So yeah, like I said, basically anything that sounded like rock. We had this sort of the idea that we didn't want the album to be like sort of stereotypically rock. So what we did was we basically added in this kind of sound. Sort of a slightly wonky sort of mellotron type sound, and yeah, we decided to do that. So yeah, hopefully it's more interesting. There's a great drum solo in the middle here from my friend Matt as well. Stick it in. And have your wicked in your gaze. I just wanted like a big build up after the second chorus before the guitar solo. I think this is the only guitar solo on the record apart from a tiny bit that happens later in No Motive, but check out how great these drums are. And then a wicked sort of weird guitar solo as well. Never wanna be anywhere. Yeah, and the kind of the lyrics of the song, as you guys kind of could hopefully hear, it's this feeling of sort of being like entranced by something, and I got that sort of that idea of like Hansel and Gretel being lost in the woods and finding this house made of sweets, right? That's kind of what happens in Hansel and Gretel, you know, because we and it's kind of about having this really heavy relationship where it's it's bad for you, you know this person's bad for you, but you can't stay away. You want the sweets, you want the payoff, and that's kind of what the lyrics are about. I'm not explaining it very well, but I hope you know what I'm going on about. I'm just going to do a few comments. So Laura says, hi, just a quick hello from work. Oh, thank you so much for tuning in, Laura. I think everyone will agree her makeup in the picture looks amazing as well. Jill says, I've just sent the link to a bunch of people in Messenger. Thank you so much. Bad Scooter says, love the album, got the vinyl framed on my wall. Oh, that's amazing. Asking, were there any songs /singers/ bands which influenced or inspired you for some songs? I think there's lots of influences in there. I don't think we specifically kind of said, oh, for this song we want to copy this person, but things just kind of happened where we thought, oh, this sounds a bit like this, or this sounds a bit like this, or whatever. But in terms of the production, we definitely did think about bands like Beck, Elliott Smith, Eels, Radiohead. That was kind of what we were going for in terms of the production. So I hope that makes sense. And then, yeah, if there's any other, I think Monster is definitely kind of inspired by it's sort of like a Don McLean type of thing, isn't it? But yeah, there's a few things like that sort of influences in there. There's definitely some Beatlesy stuff in there as well. Karen's in Lanzarote. Thank you very much. I had a lovely time in America. Thank you very much. Jacqueline says, Wicked certainly developed. It definitely did. Steph's in the house. Hi, Steph. Changing the subject slightly. Inky's quiz, are you going to see AC/DC in July? I think I am. Emma says, loving the new album. Looking forward to Newcastle in July. Thank you so much, Emma. I can't wait to come up to Newcastle. Craig says, it worked very well, Jesse. You're so versatile, not only vocally, but inspiration-wise as well. You get an idea and you don't let it go till the end. Thank you, mate. I really appreciate that. Gary's in the house as well. So yeah, that's Wicked. And the next song, obviously, I've spoken a lot about this next one, Marathon. It's probably the one I've spoken about the most, actually. So I did a half marathon in Reading a few years ago now, and it's kind of about the inspiration for doing the run. And I ran it for an MS charity, which is very, very close to my heart, because a couple of members of my family have got MS, actually. So it sort of means the world to me that I was able to run it for that charity. And I was just thinking about them, basically, when I was running it, and raised a little bit of money for the charity. So it's that feeling of running, and you know, as you're running, you're thinking, why am I doing this? You know, why do we put ourselves through these sorts of things? And that's where Marathon came from, basically.
The air is icy, pleasure in my lungs.
Could we just talk about how smooth that was? It was as if I was a DJ.
Letters to my brain, but I won't let the torture take control. When my t-shirt bears a token of your name.
I really love all the additional production on this as well. The brilliant Mark Neary, who played bass on the record, but a lot of the weird kind of sounding stuff that you hear throughout the album was created by Mark. He has this sort of synth pad thing where he can make samples and change things, and he's very, very clever with it, or it kind of goes over my head, but I just loved what he did, and I thought it sounded brilliant. So a lot of the kind of all that sort of stuff, you know, he's sort of sampled and that sort of thing, because obviously the way this song would have started off, it would have been along the lines of, you know, a piano-y, ballady thing.
The air is icy, pleasure in my lungs. My feet send angry letters to my brain, but I won't let the torture take control, no. When my t-shirt bears a token of your name.
So yeah, that's kind of where the idea for Marathon came from, and yeah, it's always a special one. I love playing that one live as well. Sue says, I love Marathon, but I love them all. Jill says, just looking at the CD booklet, loving the artwork all over again. Thank you so much, Jill. I love that. We should actually look at it in a second. Jacqueline says, there's not a bad song on the album, but I have to admit that this is one of my favourites. Oh, thank you. Well, Fiona says, all your lyrics are so heartfelt. The emotion shines through in every song. Thank you. I just think, like, that's what songwriting is, right? You have to be honest. And I think that's what I'm the most proud of this record. It's like a true representation of who I am, what I'm about, and where I was at in that moment as well, you know? So, yeah, Piano on this one reminds me of Play the Game Tonight by Kansas. Oh, cool. I don't actually know that song, but yeah. Jen says, Marathon has touched so many people, there's something special about it. Oh, thank you so much, Jen. Jill says, your lyrics are poetry. Oh, you guys. And Chris says, still think Bruises is my fave. That's cool. Andrew's in the house, everybody. Say hello. Yeah, let's have a look at the artwork, shall we? So I've got the CD here and the vinyl. Look how pretty it is. Oh, that way around. And, you know, for those of you that don't have a vinyl yet or don't have a vinyl player, all the track listings there on the back. And this is the inside. So, you know, the artwork I just absolutely love. And special shout out to Tim, who did all the artwork for me. You know, so basically, you probably know, but you can see that the artwork is essentially a massive eye, right? So you can see it from actually further away. So it's an eye, and there's a little guy swimming in the eye, but it's also a beach. There's a line in one of the songs later on the album on a song called DNA, which is blue eyes that swim the ocean. I think blue eyes could swim the ocean or something. I forgot myself now. And yeah, and basically he took that idea and ran with it, and I just thought it was really, really beautiful. And if you open it up, you can see it's the whole eye. I don't know if you've seen that before. And it's the same. It's the same if you were to open up the vinyl, it would be the whole eye. So yeah, I think it's really, really beautiful. I saw his artwork. I asked a few graphic designers before I started making the record, and yeah, basically just asked him because I loved his artwork. I just thought it was brilliant, and I thought it was quirky and funny and brilliant. So yeah. Andy says, when I first saw you with Classic Rock Show, I expected that album to be very raunchy, heavy rock, but it's genuinely blew me away. It's had plenty of airtime in my car. Thank you, Andy. I think the thing is, the entry point to where people might have seen me in my career are very different. You know, obviously a lot of you will have seen me in the Classic Rock Show, but some of you have been following me forever. So stuff like, you know, my first band, The Quotes, that's probably the closest thing to this album. I'd say this album's a little more mature because I wrote a lot of that stuff when I was in my early 20s and younger. But then, you know, I love rock music and I love being a rock singer, but the stuff I write is way more influenced by the music I kind of grew up on and that I listen to the most, which is actually more melodic, slightly more singer-songwritery stuff, you know. I'm sure you can hear the Paul McCartney influences in there, and the even some kind of Snow Patrol, that sort of thing. You know, those sorts of bands, which is what I kind of really loved when I was younger. So yeah, Jill says, I love how the tree spells wicked. Yeah, so on the artwork in the CD booklet for Wicked, and some of you might not have the CD, so I'll show you that as well. But if I can get it out of the packet. I can't get it out. I don't want to break it because this might be one that I sell. How do you do this, guys? I've never had to do this with my own one. I should be better at it than this. There we go. Yeah, so basically he did a different illustration for each song. So you can see on Wicked, the tree spells out wicked, which is pretty cool. And each of the little illustrations he's done is kind of linked into I mean, this one's beautiful, which we'll get onto now, but the tree house I just thought was absolutely beautiful. So yeah, so that's the next song on the record, and this one I always kind of quote the fact that it was kind of my Joni Mitchell type song. If you listen to Both Sides Now by Joni Mitchell, her lyrics are just unbelievable. You know, she basically has 3 separate verses. The first one's talking about clouds, the second verse is talking about love, and the third verse is talking about life. And it's the way that she essentially says a very similar thing. And says, I looked at clouds from both sides now, from up and down, and still somehow it's cloud illusions I recall, blah, blah, blah. And I wanted to try and do a similar thing with the lyrics for this song. Yeah, see what you think. This is one of the ones where I actually tune my guitar down to E flat for this. So this is nice, and that's why the guitar sounds a bit deeper and a bit more resonant.
For whatever reason, blossom knows when it's time to color trees with clothes. For whatever reason, seasons change. Summer picnics.
I love the weird guitar in this as well.
Into whiskey days. I've been living in a tree house, waiting for the spring to come around. The leaves headed out of town. Trees that will grow, leaves that will fall down. Somehow I know I breathe better when they're around. Breathe better when they're...
So yeah, basically, that, you know, the first song's about how I breathe better with trees, and you know, and then the second one is like talking about the birds in the sky and how they sing so beautifully, and you know, it sounds better when they're around. And then obviously I try, and the killer sort of punchline is you know, I breathe better when you're around, and it turns out to be a love song. You know, it's sort of like, you know, trying to get your head around the reason why you know, sort of the reason for life, I suppose. The other thing I love about when Andy came in and played guitar on that, he did the I think this one's in E flat. He did a lot of the kind of interesting guitar stuff on it. I might plug this in a sec. It's not actually plugged in yet, but I can just do it without for now. What I loved what he did, we've got these nice chords. But what he did was stick this note in. So you get that really clashy thing. So instead of trees they will grow, which is very pretty, which is what I'm playing, he adds this in. Do you know what I mean? It adds this nice tension. And the kind of tension and release is what makes so much cool music cool. So I'll stick that in here and see if you guys can hear it a bit better. Give me a second. It's in channel 2. Give me 1 second. You don't want it going through a Marshall amp, or maybe you do. I don't know. But let me turn that off. Here we go. You should be able to hear that now. Might not sound great, but... And then... One day they fall down, but here in the sky, I breathe better when you're around. I breathe better when you're around. Anyway, I love that about that guitar part. So, let's just answer a couple of comments. Jacqueline says, can you leave this up? Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to leave this on my YouTube channel, so don't worry. Rebel Rocker says, sharing out. Thank you so much. John says, after your great gig in Sub 89, so nice to hear the album. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that. That was a gig I did in Reading a while back. Lisa says, love John Strictly, and my 85-year-old dad and myself loved you. You're such a talented gentleman. Thank you so much, Lisa. I really appreciate that. It's very sweet of you. Fiona says, love the treehouse. I'm going to shrink my husband's treehouse t-shirt and steal it. I think, yeah, maybe I should do another run of those. They were really, really nice. Jill says, there are many influences, but your music is uniquely Jesse. Well, thank you. That's kind of what we do, right? We just steal a load of stuff and then it just becomes us in the end. Jen says, it's very poetic. Thank you so much. Beth says, how do you decide on titles? Well... It's a funny one with titles, actually. They kind of, sometimes they just kind of talk to you. Sometimes you sort of know what the songs are going to be at the beginning. Once you sort of get a hook. Obviously with Marathon, the main chorus. You are the marathon, you are the one I run for. You know, and same as in For Whatever Reason, it made sense to be called For Whatever Reason, because it's kind of a theme that keeps coming back in the song. But then like Speck of Dust is just kind of a collection of ideas, and there's not really like a main hook, and it's like, what is this song about? You know, for me that song was about a moment in time, and it's a nice start to the album as well, you know. So Speck of Dust made sense for that, you know, speck of dust in space and time. So that's kind of where that comes from. So every song kind of, I guess, happens in a slightly different way, I suppose. And then probably the weirdest song on the album, and the song that's actually been doing great on Spotify, it got on a playlist out in America, and it's been doing really, really well. And it's a quirky little song that I really love called Brittle. And it's called Brittle because it's about the kind of brittle nature of the music industry. I was writing about what it means to be an artist, what it means to try and get your music out there. Yeah, I really like it. So see what you guys think. Some of you will know this song, obviously, but this is Brittle. My amazing friend Christian Mendoza plays guitar on this, by the way.
I've been swimming in circles again, trying to teach myself how to win. In a world with so many sharks and people trying to breaststroke their way in. I've been locked in a concrete box, trying to fly.
There it is, the title of the album.
A voice box got some miles on the clock, but I ain't got very far. No, I ain't got very far.
This one's quite self-deprecating as well. I like doing that in my music. You know, it's like, it's just about being, again, trying to be like a bit melodramatic, and you know, it's basically saying, you know, I've done all these gigs, all this stuff, and I'm still trying to release my own music, still trying to be an artist. You know, my voice box got some miles on the clock, but I ain't got very far. You know, it's like, it's obviously just like a play on words, and it's kind of a bit silly and a bit tongue in cheek, but yeah, that I love that about this song, because it's all a bit silly, you know, and melodramatic, which is quite me, I think.
Get a steady job, oh, who am I kidding now? Caught in the middle between life and jail and a major acquittal. Broken and brittle, but it'll not be done.
Okay, so that bit there, so that's another brilliant bit by Mark. I'm not sure. Well, I don't actually know exactly where it's from, so I can't get in trouble. But he basically stole this from somewhere, and I think it's somebody missing a basketball shot. Have a listen.
I've been thinking.
It's something like that. It's something silly, like a video, and he's taken the audio and like messed it up and mashed it up and processed it and made it sound funny. So I think that's what that is. Again, it's just a bit tongue in cheek and a bit weird. I also love the cowbell. I was like, this needs more cowbell, so we stuck a cowbell on this verse right now. Check it out.
This year, by the way you make me feel, and all I know is when you're not here, it's like a stab wound that never heals. Yeah, you got me right in the field.
Yeah, and again, the lyrics on that verse, yeah, you could definitely say it's Paul McCartney, I guess, but there's also some Biffy Clyro in there for sure. I love Biffy Clyro, and he's quite melodramatic in his lyrics, and that verse there is like, I've been thinking a lot this year about the way you make me feel, And all I know is when you're not here, it's like a stab wound that never heals. Yeah, you got me right in the feels. You know, it's like, you know, it's almost like Shakespearean, isn't it? It's like, you know, if I don't have your love, I am dead. I stab myself, you know. So yeah. Anyway. Beth says the production on the album is brilliant. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Serena says, do you get a tune first, then the words, or the words and find a tune as you go? I tend to sort of, my writing process tends to be that I write the music first. So for something like Marathon, again, going back to that, I would have been messing about on piano. And then I'll kind of hum. Until I find something that sticks. And then I sort of think, what does this feel like? You know, what am I trying to say here? And then, you know, then eventually when you start singing gibberish, and then you go, okay, does that mean the word lungs is there, or whatever, you know? And then it kind of just comes. Jill says, when you write the music, do you have a theme in mind, or is it totally free flow? I think in general, I just try and write and then think about what it is afterwards, rather than try and think, I want to write something like this. Sometimes I've done that, but in general, I try and write without thinking about it, and then hopefully it ends up being good, you know? So, anyway, moving on. So this next track is probably my favourite track on the album. It's probably my favourite track I've ever written, actually. Just because of the lyrical content, it's probably the most honest and most emotive song for me. I don't know what you guys think, but it started off as well as a very basic piano track, and it came together really quickly. And then when we were in the studio, basically for the musicians out there, there's a little loop that's in 5, which is, so it's 5 notes. And obviously the song is in 4, so it goes 1, 2, 3, 4. So all the way through the song, for musicians out there, there's a 5 going across a 4, which means it's kind of out of time until it corrects itself, which will be like every 20 beats or something. So it's almost impossible to play at the same time. Do you know what I mean? But there's basically a 4 and a 5. I can't play it. I told you I couldn't. But so there's that little loop that goes all the way through. Anyway, this song is called DNA. Sorry about swearing.
Pure
Yeah, anyway, that's DNA. But yeah, that song, I just love that song so much. It's probably it's definitely one of my favourite ones on the record. There was just some magic going on in the studio that day. I love what Matt did on the drums with it, the kind of loop we created. Mark's bass line on it is amazing, which we didn't even get to actually. So yeah, that's Jill says, apparently people who swear are more trustworthy according to recently. Wow, who knew that? Who knew? I do swear too much, but Craig says, are you going to tour Songs in a Concrete Box? Well, I actually have toured it already, but yes, mate, I'm going on tour next month. So let me have a look on my website because I'm really bad at remembering dates, but I have about 5 or 6 gigs. I've got Cambridge, Newcastle, Edinburgh, Henley-on-Thames, Salford and Stourbridge. The one in Henley is at Henley Festival, but I think I am going to do another gig in Henley after that, which I haven't announced yet. I think I can also tell you guys that I'm playing Isle of Wight Festival as well, which is pretty cool. But back at Isle of Wight Festival again this year, guys. I'm so really excited about that. So yes, mate, I've got some gigs coming up. They're all on my website. Cambridge, Newcastle, Edinburgh, Henley, Salford, Stourbridge. So please come and see me if you're anywhere near. Jill says the falsetto is beautiful. Sarah says, trust me 100%. I'm assuming that's because you swear a lot. That's so funny. Beth says, when are you coming to USA to tour your album? Oh, that would be such a dream come true, Beth. Let's wait and see, I guess. So yeah, so moving on from sort of the most honest like love song I've ever written, which is DNA, onto No Motive, which is kind of the most aggy song I've ever written. It's just that kind of that pure frustration of like, you know, about kind of when you keep clashing, and I kind of read it on piano. No, that's the wrong sound. This. And it kind of became this gospel-y thing, and I'll explain about the ending in a minute. But this again is really weird tuning on the guitar, and this is probably my only little bit of lead guitar on the album as well. So weird.
When an apple comes so easy to light up, it's like I'm covered in kerosene and tissue paper. Why do you try so hard to have a tear up? 7 years hasn't made it any easier. It's like I'm screaming my veins into a stone wall. You throw silence at me like a hand grenade. I will give you my word, but you don't want it. I get frustrated with all the risk you never take.
Again, you throw silence at me like a hand grenade. I mean, how melodramatic can you be? But so yeah, on the chorus there's a really interesting drum sound, and we wanted something like that was going to really clang in the chorus, and there's no snare drum. You'll notice it goes nga nga nga, and it's actually a garden spade. So we went out into the garden, we found a spade, we strapped it and then gaffer taped it to the drum kit, and he's hitting the garden spade to get that sound on the drums. Check it out. So next time you hear that, you'll realise that he's actually whacking a garden spade. And then again, quite Biffy Clyro influence goes on a bit later on with the Never Gonna Forget, you know, this bit. Where is it? I've got it programmed on here somewhere.
Never gonna forget, 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 never gonna forget again.
There we go. I can't tell you how long that took to do. But yeah. And then again there's this fun little almost Phil Collinsy, isn't it? Loving anything is so intense. The pressure gets to anyone sometimes. You know, so that happens. And then it's very Paul McCartney as well. I wanna give the world to you. No, I do. And then these vocals at the end, I just want to explain quickly what we did. Basically, we had a couple of microphones in stereo like this, and then we drew markers on the floor. So I think we did. So if you imagine the microphones here, we had marker on the floor here, marker on the floor here, marker on the floor here. So you had 3 at the front, and then we moved back, and we had another 3 on the floor. Then we moved back again, and we had another 3 on the floor. So in total, we had 9 spaces on the floor. So when you've got 2 microphones, it creates a stereo image, which means, you know, two lots of sound. So depending on how far you are away from the microphone, it makes a different sound. So the nearer you are to the microphone, the louder it is, and the quieter away from the microphone you are away. So if you do multiple recordings from there, you basically get a different sound. So what we did, we recorded each harmony in each position. So there's 9 takes of me singing one harmony, 9 takes of me singing another harmony, and 9 takes of me singing another harmony. And what you get is this kind of big chorusy type sound, but it's just me singing. Check it out.
To the light. Maybe sometimes I step a little over. I love you all of the time, even when I forget to remember. I gender away with the light, sparks in the nights from any little ember.
So yeah, that was fun to record as well. It took ages though. Let's just answer a few comments. Craig says, what was this time you had a proposal? Yes, last time, I'll talk about the tune in a minute, but yeah, it was during one of our songs we had a proposal at Isle of Wight. It was very sweet. B says that song was really fun. Jen says, who do I want to see at Isle of Wight? I'm really looking forward to seeing Crowded House. I love Crowded House. Really looking forward to seeing Green Day. Really looking forward to seeing The Pretenders. And there's a few others as well that are going to be brilliant. I think The Darkness are playing. It's going to be fun. Jill says, I've just realised I've never heard you miss a note. Oh, God. I'm definitely not pitch perfect, and I've definitely missed loads of notes. Yeah, obviously, I practice a lot, and I've been singing a long time, so you'd like to think by now that I get better, and I try my best, but I'm flat often. And, I'm definitely not perfect. I just try and be as good as I can be, especially when you're recording. If you're in the studio, every little detail is so minute, then, and we didn't auto-tune anything on the record, so it just meant we had to do loads of takes until we got it right, I'm definitely not pitch perfect. The other thing about that, I'd say, on this record, obviously I'm my own worst critic, but I think there's definitely vocals that aren't perfectly in tune on this record. But I quite like that. I like the human element of that, I think a lot of everything these days, especially pop music, tends to be really auto-tuned and really quantized, which means it's really in time. And it doesn't give you the nuance of what human beings actually sound like when they sing. So I really kind of like that. There's bits on the album that aren't perfect, and that's what makes them imperfect, and that's why I like them. We could have made a really pristine rock, perfectly in time, perfectly in tune record, and that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to make something interesting, so hopefully that comes across. John says, fantastic, another Henley gig without the dress code. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Loza says, love hearing all the behind the scenes stuff, makes you appreciate even more, and all the hard work that goes into it. Oh, thank you. Well, yeah, I mean, like I said, it took me probably a year to record the album in total, in between tours and stuff like that. So I'm glad you appreciate it. The other thing, so moving on to the next tune on the record, so If You Will Then I Will. I know a lot of you, it's kind of one of your favorites. I mean, it's again, it's just so honest. This is the oldest song on the album, apart from Triumph and Disaster, which is kind of old and new, which I'll talk about when we get there. But If You Will Then I Will, I wrote before mine and Bear's first date. We'd started Skyping and stuff like that, and I mean, this is getting a bit personal, but we met when she was in the audience at one of my shows, and basically we started speaking online, but we'd never actually met in person. So we're having this kind of long distance relationship, having never actually met in person, for a few months before she flew back over and we had our first date. And I wrote this song in that period, so we'd not actually met yet. And basically this is what came out of it,
Baby, I like you because you're so unreachable. Maybe I need you because we're so far away. Maybe I crave you because everyone thinks you're adorable. Maybe there's something my language has no words to say. Maybe you chose me because I'm not like one of them. Maybe you found me because I'm a shivering wreck.
So yeah, that's basically where that one came from. I mean, it's just a love song, isn't it? But it's kind of like, you can tell that it's like nervous and shy and wondering if it's going to work out, which is why it's kind of so, I guess, so honest and so kind of cute, I guess. I mean, I wrote that song when like I said, that's the oldest one on the record. Most of it was written 2 years ago, but that one was written in 2013 or something like that. So I'd have been 23 years old. So anyway, and the other thing I loved is some of the production. Again, we did on that. We took my voice, did different layers, and then added like a keyboardy thing. This is all Mark's work, by the way. And then it sort of ended up sounding like this. So those pads are all my voice. Ooh, ooh, ooh. And just kind of messed up, So yeah, it was a lot of fun making that. And then I love it when the drums kick in on this. The drum sound we got on this was really cool.
Maybe it's karma or destiny making a choice. What if you find that I lied and I'm not tall enough?
Yeah. So anyway, this next bit actually is one of my favorite bits on the album. So we basically built. I'll show you. Check out this harmony. So basically we just layered, I don't even know how many, but probably 20 of my voice singing different harmonies. So let me fall into an avalanche of agape. So it's no, not that. Just me. Like just loads. And then you know, and a lot of that isn't in tune either. Going back to what we were just talking about. So, Joe says, congratulations on the full release. Thank you, mate. Appreciate that. Sue says, I remember when you first played that to us. Loved it since then. Thank you so much. B says, love this song. We call it the Maybe So G because we sing it all over the house. Oh, I love that. Kaz says, congratulations on the full release. I think If You is a perfect love song. Well, thank you, guys. I know you guys had that at your wedding, so that meant the world to me as well, so thank you. Craig says, Jesse, you've given me so much inspiration to write my own music again. Just saying you didn't want the album to be pristine. Oh, bless you, mate. Yeah, well, that's what... Music doesn't have to be pristine, man, you know? It's... Music is just humans making noise, you know? And that's what I love about it. And, you know, there's so much... There's an interview I actually did this week, which is coming out in, probably next week sometime, but I talk about it in that. And basically, music isn't supposed to be perfect, man. It's supposed to be interesting, and it's supposed to be... We just went to Motown, right? And we when we were in Detroit, and we were in Hitsville, and the room where they recorded all those songs, all the songs that we all know and love, is tiny. You know, it's a tiny little studio, and they recorded drums and horns and bass and guitars, and it was all done in the same room. And it was loud and it was noisy and there was mistakes and it was, you know, but the songs aren't any less good for it. In fact, they're better. You know, there's something about imperfection that makes things wonderful, you know. So anyway, thanks, man. Go for it, mate. Make your own music, definitely. Jill says, that's something I admire. Artists have to be brave enough to share their inmost feelings when they write and share their work. I would find that very daunting. Yeah, I guess it's that's part of writing songs, isn't it? I guess if you write something honest, then somebody else is going to be feeling that. You know, I think it's when you try and reach for things that maybe aren't true, or you maybe try and be too profound. That's when people can't relate to it. You know, so. Gary says, my favourite track changes, but I always come back to this one in the end. Oh, bless you, man. Well, thank you, Gary. I appreciate that. Kathy says, I think this one is very Del Amitri inspired. I think it's the guitar part, apart from the Queen bit. I mean, very possibly. That album, Hatful of Rain, I absolutely loved when I was a kid. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm subconsciously, some of that influence went in there. But yeah, love Del Amitri. Jill says that has a really retro sound. Thinking 10cc maybe. Cool. And Jen says, I've started writing songs again too. Oh, bless you. That means so much to me, guys. Thank you so much. I'm so glad to see that you guys are writing as well. That's amazing. So anyway, what's next on the record? So this one you guys all know for sure.
Autumn days, open Eden, my best friend. Are we dreaming? Are we dreaming?
My friend Christian Mendoza played electric guitar on this one. I love what he did. Just little bits.
Through the hillside, only now, only tonight, only tonight. It's only ever tonight. Whatever winter throws our way, I'll be the sentry at your gate. I'd climb the castle walls for you and fire 100 arrows to anyone that meant to do you harm.
Again, this song, I kind of love the drama of it. You know, it's like, it's got so much energy, but the lyric is kind of, it's kind of melodramatic again. You know, it's I guess, do you know, I actually, when I was younger, I was in a few Shakespeare plays, and I'm by the way, I'm not comparing my lyrics to Shakespeare in any way. I'm not saying they're that good, but what I'm saying is the kind of the melodrama in the lyric is quite dramatic. It's like, I'd climb the castle walls for you and fire 100 arrows to anyone that meant to do you harm. You know, it's like, I fucking love you. I love you so much. Do you know what I mean? You know, and I was obviously in a really good mood, and it's like, you know, it's that feeling of like loving someone. This song's more about looking after somebody, you know. It's like, yeah, it's kind of that thing about, you know, loving somebody so much, wanting to look after them so much that you would do anything, you know. I think we all have that person or that pet or that child or that parent that we would just do absolutely anything for. And that's kind of what this song is. It's like, I have the best time with you. We have the best, you know, and it's just pure joy. It's like, I do anything. It's just pure joy, you know. So, yeah, basically that's where Bruises came from. And Bruises was a really quick song. You know, they say some songs just kind of come out of thin air. I think I wrote it in about an hour or 2 hours. It was a really quick one, and I did a demo the same day. And I just remember sticking it on in my headphones, having just recorded this demo, and walking the dog when he was a puppy, just around Ealing, and just listening to this song on repeat, just like, wow, where did that come from, you know? So yeah, I really like that one. And Kathy says my favourite one, especially the audience participation. And that's the other great thing, you know, it's lovely to get you guys all involved. So yeah, Joe says my favourite from the album, I love the little keyboard part under the chorus. Oh, thanks, mate. Yeah, so I don't even know if I can remember how to play it, but... It's like a little cute piano bit that sort of does what the vocal's doing. Yeah. Oh, thanks, guys. Kim says love this song. Elaine says love. Thank you. We've got KA saying hi, Jesse. Everybody should have a copy of Songs from a Concrete Box. Bruises is our favourite. Kevin and Julie. Oh, thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate that. John says heartfelt emotion trumps subjective perfection every day. I definitely agree. Jill says, have you ever dreamed a song, Jesse? Woke up with it in your head? I do very often wake up with lyrics or like thoughts. Like, I think it's when half asleep, I'll just like have these thoughts, and suddenly like a song or a lyric will just go around in my head. So yeah, I definitely do think up things at night time, especially when I'm half asleep. Craig says, I love this song for very personal reasons. I gave everything to my life partner, but she was took away from me. And I always think of Lynn when I hear this. Oh, mate, I'm so sorry to hear that, man. I'm sending you lots of love, dude. Do you know what? That's what means so much to me in this community. You know, it's very, very special. This group of people. So I really, really appreciate you all. I hope the signal's being okay. I can see that the Wi-Fi is being a bit weird now. But Sarah says, any ideas for the new album? Yeah, so I've started writing already. I've got sort of 2 or 3 songs down already for the new album. And I'm working on it, guys. So hopefully news on that soon. Yeah. Beth says, that's why I love seeing music live, because it's all the imperfections that make it unique and personal. Totally. And you need jeopardy in life. You know, if everything was great all the time, then, you know, you don't get, you know, you need music to be a bit dodgy and potentially fall off the edge of a cliff sometimes, because otherwise there's no risk. Otherwise it's just a CD, you know. That's what I love about it too. So I agree. Cool. And then this song, I mean, this is kind of the most odd song on the album for me. I guess it's the one that's a bit more out of left field. And it definitely, it's kind of like a dark kind of sister to Don McLean Vincent. You know, I was definitely kind of inspired by it. I love that song anyway. That's in my 1971 show. But this song is like a dark kind of dark Beatlesy Don McLeany type tune, kind of in that ilk, and that's why we wanted to put some trumpet on it, just to add a bit of kind of element of surprise. There's also those kind of Ringo-y type drums at the beginning.
You greet me with a scream, a monster in your room. You need a hero now to fumigate for you. I hope you never need to save yourself from me. I cheat you in your dream while sleeping next to you.
Yeah, anyway, that's Monster, and I know some of you guys really love that one. So Jen says, Brill, you're writing more songs. Definitely am. Kathy says, I love Monster, it's great. Fab drums, thank you very much. I didn't play them, but Matt was brilliant on that. Jill says, the 1971 show was amazing, can't wait to come see it again. I'm working on that too, Jill. And Tom says, very beatly. Definitely, it's definitely beatly for sure. That's why I wanted to add some brass on it as well, you know. Serena says, love the drama that this song contours up. Sounds like a movie song. Thank you. Hopefully gets used in a movie. Were you on the album, are you working or have any of the Arena Rock Field show Crazy Range? I don't know. Like I said before, I think I kind of write, I just write what I write and then it comes out, you know. But we are focusing on kind of getting the most out of my voice in the writing process on this new song. I've been writing with this brilliant songwriter called Sarah Carter, so we are kind of working on that. But I don't know if it'll be arena rock, but it'll definitely be different to what you've heard before. Jill says, I remember the story behind that second verse. Yeah. Yeah, let's not dwindle on that one now, but you get the picture. And then this song, this final song, the story behind this song is that I started writing it back in, I think I must have been about 21. So I think I was writing it in like 2010, 2011. And it was with my old band, The Quotes. And it was only ever this beginning bit, you know. It was only ever that bit. And it basically didn't... I couldn't ever find the next bit, you know. And then skip to 10 years later, whenever it was, and I'm recording this album. And suddenly I just get the idea and the inspiration to finish it, you know, and it feels like a real bookend for me because, you know, it started out so long ago when I was a kid, and it ended up with me being an adult, and I think a lot of this record as my first solo album I've ever released kind of is a coming of age, and it's kind of about, you know, regardless of what happens and what, you know, the triumphs and the disasters and everything in between, I'm happy with what I'm doing, you know, and I'm content in doing what I'm doing. And I think releasing this album, I really mean that, you know, it's meant the world to me to be able to release this record, to be able to get it out into the world. It legitimizes everything else that I do. I'm proud of everything else that I do. I love the fact that I'm a touring musician and I'm a session musician and I get to tour the world doing rock and roll. But of course, having something to say that means something to you and putting it out into the world is, I think if I'm on my deathbed and I look back, that's the thing I'm going to be most proud of. And which is why it's kind of the reason I really wanted to get this out now. I feel like I'm ready to start working on the new thing. I love being a songwriter, and I feel like unless I'm putting music out, I'm not being a songwriter, you know. And I I guess because I'm a touring musician, I have this chip on my shoulder. Like I'm not being an artist. No, I'm not doing the thing that I started out doing music for. You know, I started playing guitar so that I could write songs. You know, I was already writing poetry when I was 12, 11. So I just want to thank you guys so much for your support on this, and for helping legitimize the fact that I am a songwriter and that I have got something to say, and that I hope you love the songs as much as I do, you know, because they're yours now. You know, as soon as they're out in the world, they belong to you. And I'm really looking forward to playing them on my little tour that I've got coming up in July. The tickets are selling well, so it's going to be really fun. If you're thinking about it, please come. Like I said before, I've got Newcastle, Cambridge, Edinburgh, Henley, Salford, Stourbridge near Birmingham. So I'd love to see you guys all there. And let me just answer a few more questions, but then I'll probably leave you with the last track on the album and then call it a night. But Kathy said, haha, I didn't know you wrote it with them before. He said that. Oh, this one is very quotes. Well, the thing is, that song, let me grab the acoustic. I don't know if this is in tune, by the way, but so there's a song called Innocent Flow, which is, it's not in tune, but let me just stick it in tune quickly. You know, and it's basically exactly the same chords, Kathy, so it's very quotes. But back then I only knew about 4 chords. So I always say it's like the little sister to the song Innocent Flow, which is the song that I was talking about, you know. Let's just get this in tune. I think it's the first time I tuned it since my 1971 gig. Let's just stick this. Sorry, excuse me. So, Innocent Flow is, baby, are you cold in the snow? I know I am. Wondering if you even know. So you can hear the chords are very similar. This one has more of a circular feeling. That's why it made me think of seasons and water. Anyway, so yeah, they're very similar. B says, this album is so perfect, every song. Oh, thank you so much. I definitely don't know about that, but thank you. It means the world to me, guys. It is what it is, you know, and I'm just very proud of it. So Tom said, oh mate, I'm sorry you've broken your elbow, Tom. Andy says, do you walk around with a pad all day writing lyrics? I don't, mate. And I feel every time I'm not writing a song, which is obviously most of my life, I feel guilty that I'm not writing songs. But I tend to do it. I think I'm quite strange in the way that I won't write for quite a while, and then I will just sit down and go, right, I'm going to write now. And then luckily, so far, inspiration just seems to kind of happen. Normally, if I just try and write something happens. So, yeah, man. Tom says, you're a great musician. Oh, bless you, mate. Jill says, very proud to be here supporting you and part of this lovely community. Thank you, Jill. I'm very happy you're here. Andrew says, living your best life, man. Enjoy every minute. Thank you so much, mate. Chris says, you're an incredible songwriter and we are looking forward to the next installment. Thank you so much, Chris. I really appreciate that, man. Mike says, can't wait for Salford. Nice one, mate. Can't wait either. Jen says, extremely proud to be able to chat, hear your songs in this we group to be a part of. Wow, thank you. Thank you, guys. You're so sweet, all you guys. Loza says, you're amazing. Love seeing all these compliments. Love seeing your success and everyone appreciating your talent. So deserved. Oh, bless you guys. Thank you. I really, really appreciate it. But Beth says she appreciates my time. Kim says, love your own songs. Welcome, calm and break from hard rock metal all the time. Thank you. Yeah, I guess it is for me as well. Fiona says, really looking forward to Edinburgh. Hope to this book, so it'll be a great mini break. Awesome. That'll be fun. Serena says, we will all be looking at the quotes. Thank you for 1971 last week. It was brilliant. Thank you for coming. Yeah, the quotes, I think it's actually on my Bandcamp. Let me see if I can find a link for you guys. Let me find it. There's one band that definitely isn't us. So, let's have a look. Here we go. Yeah, I found it. So there's one band that definitely isn't us, but there's this one which I'll put in the comments, which is still available on Bandcamp to buy, which is this one. So that's in the comments now on YouTube, everybody. But it's, if you search for State of Activity, that was our album. Because I used to think I knew about Aristotle when I was 21. That's where that happiness is a state of activity. That's where that comes from. Kim says, love heart. Sarah says, can't believe it was a week ago since 1971. I think it was longer than that ago, Sarah. Whee! Yeah, I know. A week ago today, wasn't it? That was a great show, and I'm looking forward to doing it again. Steph says, you're amazing, Jesse. We're so lucky to come on this journey with you. Thank you so much, guys. You are so sweet. I obviously couldn't do it without you guys. I really appreciate your support, as always. Yeah, thank you for your support with it. What can you do to help, I hear you ask? Well, all you have to do is go and listen to it. Please add it to your playlists. If you're on Spotify or Apple Music, please add it to your playlist. It really, really helps. So I would really appreciate that. And then just tell people about it and listen to it, and and just keep doing what you're doing, because I couldn't do this without you guys. You're all amazing. Thank you for your help. If I was going to do a blast of something to end this live stream, what would you like me to play? Let me know. Mike says, if you're doing your gig with the quotes at the end of the year, me and Kaz will definitely make it. No wedding planning now. Woohoo. And Fiona says, thank you for sharing this special day with us. It's an absolute pleasure. Yeah, I don't know about the quotes gig. We'll have to find that out. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll do a little blast of the tune that started it all, shall I? Turn this up a little bit. And I'll stick a bit of reverb on. Hey! And I'll say goodnight. Thank you so much, everybody. Please go and listen to the album. Loads. And here we go. I'm not afraid to be in the darkness. I've seen the rain, I've seen the sun. I've got a star that lights up the ocean and leads me home. And I'm not afraid to float in the nighttime. I've got a million stars in my eyes, but too many to float in is lonesome. Now it's time, now it's time for me to find a tiny piece of land or sky to be my legacy. Give me some acceleration now. Tell me if you can see me speeding. I got a little bit of traction now. Together we can hit the ceiling. Take a look into the future now. Can you see me on your horizon? Take a look into the future now. Take a look into the future. It's a speck of dust in space and time.
Take a look into my eyes right now. Tell me if your heart's still beating. Still give me that attraction now. Still give me that first date feeling. Take a look into the future now. Can you see me on your horizon? Take a look into the future now. Give me some acceleration now. Tell me if you can see me speeding. I got a little bit of traction now. Together we can hit the ceiling. Take a look into the future now. Can you see me on your horizon? Take a look into the future now. Thank you very much, everybody. There we go. A little bit of Speck of Dust. I didn't play the second verse. I've had a long day and I'm tired and I want to go watch England play in a minute. I love you guys so much. Thank you for all your support on the album. Here's to the next one, I guess. Keep listening to this one. I'm still going to be sharing stuff about it. So please like all my comments and all that stuff. You know what you need to do. Thank you so much, everybody. I really appreciate you. I'm going to play one more song, but just on the Spotify, so you can listen to it and chat if you want. Thank you so much for watching. And if anybody's watching this later on, I've got some shows coming up in July. Please go listen to the album. It means the world to me. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Good night.